We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
How you can imagine. Now you can deny. Thundercats by Rainbow Toy.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Toys from the Past. So on today's Toys from the Past, we will actually be doing 2 suggested toy lines. The first one comes by way of Moira Kitty. Thank you, Moira, for this suggestion. She wanted to hear about Popples. Now, the Popples were manufactured by Mattel between 1986 and 1988. Now, each toy had a pouch on the back that could be inverted so the character rolled into the pouch and resembled a brightly colored ball. Originally, the licensing for Popples was held through American Greetings, also being listed as their inventors. Currently, it is now under the care of Hasbro. Shortly after the toys were created, a television series was aired. Which was pretty much the standard for most of the toys that came out in the 1980s. Almost every single one of them wound up getting a cartoon series to help push the line. Initially, there were 9 Popples that were released from 1986 to 1988, and they came in 3 separate categories. There was a large category, a medium category, and a small category, but the characteristics of all of them were pretty much the same. They had tails. They looked like a cross between a marsupial and a teddy bear, and each one had a tail that ended in a big giant puffball. And according to the cartoon, the pouch on their back also doubled as a portal into an extra-dimensional void known as Hammer Space. The original line included PC, which stood for Pretty Cool. PC was listed as the leader of the Popples, and he was one of the first of the larger ones. His color scheme was blue and pink with contrasting orange and yellow ears, and also a big giant yellow dot on his stomach. His tail pom-pom was purple and yellow. And according to the lore of the cartoon, PC could actually make flowers bloom with a magic finger snap. Next up, Party Popple. Being of the larger size, her colors were pink and white with a grayish blue accent to her. And on the show, she would routinely pull confetti and party hats out of her pouch and try to get everyone else to get down. And the last of the large trio was Pancake Popple, and apparently was the Popple you turned to when you were feeling down. Her color scheme was mostly purple with orange, green, and light blue highlights. And beginning off with the trio of medium-sized Popples, you had the jokester, the prankster, Puzzle Popple, whose color scheme was all over the place. Now, the main color was orange, but it also included yellow, purple, a pastel green, a light green, a very light blue, and red. Next up of the medium-sized trio was Prize Popple, who was mostly purple with a blue belly and a foot mark, and also some light green and white highlights. The cartoon depicted her as someone often found looking into a mirror, speaking in a Marilyn Monroe-styled voice, and dreaming about a career in film. And the last of the trio of medium Popples was Puffball. Puffball was mainly a white Popple with blue, pink, yellow, orange highlights. And according to the cartoon, she was incredibly obsessed with keeping her fur clean. And, of course, we have the 3 small Popples, which included Pretty Popple, one of the tiniest of the original Popples. Her color scheme was a weird light purple with pink, light pink, and pale blue accents. Shy but loyal, the very polite and poetry-loving Popple often amused her pals by speaking in rhyme. Next up, Potato Chip Popple. This Popple was mostly yellow with pink and light blue highlights. And on the show, she was best known for imitating sounds just like Police Academy's Michael Winslow. And she was also fond of snacks and had a huge appetite for them. And the last of the original 9 Popples was Putter Popple, the last of the small Popples with a predominantly lime or light green color with pink, red, light blue, and orange highlights. This Popple was also another trickster, like Puzzle, and also, according to the cartoon, was quite the inventor. Now, the next 2 that I'm going to mention were not part of the original 9, but they were actually included in the cartoon series. All of the original 9, according to the cartoon, belong to Bonnie and Billy Wagner, who thought they were the only ones with such amazing toys. Both the Wagners and their Popple pack learned the truth when Mike and Penny moved into the neighborhood toting their own Popples. The crew included a punk rock duo. This became what was known as the Rock Star Popples. Punkity, a magenta girl with a microphone and a star on her belly, and Punkster, a blue boy with guitar and a lightning bolt on his belly. This line also brought about the Popples babies. Bibsy, a white with purple and white hat, bib, and booties with stars, and Crisby, pink with blue and white striped hat, bib, and booties. The babies had rattles in their tails and came with a squeaking baby bottle. Other lines later on included the Pufflings, Sports Popples, an extension line of full-size Popples, Pocket Popples, and then in 2001 there was a revival line by Toymax. And after that line had died in 2007, they tried to revive the line again through Playmates Toys. And then once again revived in 2015 with the new Popples series on Netflix. And once again, I would just like to thank Moira for her suggestion for this toy line. The second half of our Toys from the Past today is brought to you by Bear. Bear Nerd Fun. Thank you, Bear, for the suggestion, and here we go. So if you were alive in the 1970s and either had kids or one yourself, you surely remember Ideal's classic Evel Knievel toy line. The toys were as wild and as adventurous as the late king of the stuntman himself. He stood small, maybe about 6 inches tall, and he was basically a bendable figure. After the success of the initial bendy figure, a basic figure wound up being produced. Now the basic figure came dressed in Knievel's trademark American flag adorned white jumpsuit and white shoes. Now additional accessories were included like a helmet and, strangely enough, a cane. Now some other outfits were sold like an adventure set and an Arctic adventure set, and with the addition of all the different outfits that you could purchase Evel Knievel in, believe it or not, this line actually became a pretty big hit. As a matter of fact, the Evel Knievel figures were such a big hit and were quickly followed by the next logical step, stunt vehicles. After all, everybody wished that they could perform all the stunts that Evel Knievel could, but nobody actually wanted to have all the broken bones that no doubt are associated with doing stunts of that magnitude. Ideal's Evel Knievel stunt vehicles provided a perfect solution to the dilemma of wanting to be in the action but not actually putting yourself in danger. Now, this long-lived line of vehicles began with the stunt vehicle, a working miniaturized cycle piloted by a bendable Evel Knievel figure. The cycle was powered by a hand-crank power launcher that got its engine going and could then be launched towards any stunt obstacle its user could imagine. Also available was Evel's favorite weekend retreat vehicle, the Scramble Van. And Ideal did not stop there. They also unveiled a series of playsets to provide unique backdrops for the antics of the Evel Knievel stunt vehicles. There was the Stunt Stadium, which included a ramp and cheering crowds painted onto its bleachers, and Stunt World, which included a 3-dimensional obstacle course for Knievel to ride his cycle through. Now, one of the strangest Evel Knievel playsets was the Escape from Skull Canyon set, which included a Sasquatch-style monster, boulders, and skull-adorned trees as obstacles for Evel Knievel. And of course, once any line gets going, they start creating all kinds of side items for their toy line, such as different types of motorcycles and vehicles like race cars and so on and so on. One of the rarest ones that they created was the Evel Knievel Stratocycle. Now, this motorcycle was produced to tie in with the Viva Knievel movie featuring Evel Knievel himself. This is very hard to find, so if you find one loose, you'll be lucky enough just to get the motorcycle itself. The other accessories can be purchased with ease since most were interchangeable. These other accessories are normally the same Evel Knievel dial with helmet and cane and the hand-operated launcher. Now, just getting the right color Evel Knievel clothes, since he came in 3 different colors, and the right launcher color, it also came in numerous colors, will take a little bit of time, but if you have the time to invest, I'm sure that you will find it. And once the popularity of the Evel Knievel line was established, they also created other figures such as Robbie Knievel, the teenage stuntman, who was just a tad bit shorter and thinner than Evel himself. And of course, with the line moving very well, in an effort to grab the attention of young girls, they also released Daring in 1976, a female stunt performer. Some of the vehicles that were made available for that female was a trick cycle, a wheelie car, and a Baja camper. And like so many other lines, they also found much success with several die-cast Evel Knievel vehicles, series of miniatures, and even a board game. Now, this sounds like quite a lot already, but other companies produce countless other Evel Knievel toys and novelties. There were Evel Knievel lunchboxes, bicycles, comic books, pillowcases, bed sheets, trash cans, radios, and model rockets. There was even an Evel Knievel electric toothbrush that was designed to look like the famous X2 Sky Cycle. Several of the classic stunt toys were also reissued by Playing Mantis Toys in 1998 and found much favor with nostalgic Evel Knievel fans. Now, the continued popularity of these toys shows that Evel Knievel and the toys he inspired are a phenomena with true staying power. And lastly, Ideal also released an extremely rare, possibly even limited to maybe 100 sold, of 5 outfits for Evel Knievel to dress up in. Available through mail order, they came packaged with a white outfit figure. The popularity of the Evel Knievel figures also found its way into That 70s Show. Once again, I would like to thank Bear Nerd Fun for his suggestion, and Bud, I hope you liked it. Anyway, guys, that is all I have on this one. Do you remember either one of these toy lines? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And while you're there, if you have a suggestion for a toy line that you would like to hear me talk about, go ahead and leave it down there and I will get to it as quickly as I can. And of course, as always, if you've enjoyed what you've heard and what you've seen, go ahead and destroy that like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I hope that you've enjoyed yourself. I hope that you will check out some of my other content. And if you like what you see and what you hear, go ahead and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will catch you all next time. Later, y'all.